To Wildcard or not, welcome to the Gianni Battici YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. It's match day 2, it's Euro Fantasy, and so far it has been loads of fun. But the big decision to make this week for some will be, do I use a chip? Do I look at Limitless or Wildcard? Or is 2 transfers simply enough? Well, I think it might just be. So I'm going to show you in today's show a Wildcard draft, what I'm looking to do with 2 free transfers, if that's the direction I go. And we're also going to look at some of the clean sheet and goal scoring odds, which I always find really, really useful. But first, I think we have to start with the news of MBAPPE and what sort of update we have. No operation is needed. We've seen he had a broken nose. It was a shocker. He tried playing on, blood everywhere. And we saw in the game, he looked really bright. He looked like the fantasy option you want to have. Yes, he got an assist, but it could have been more, missed a big chance early on. So he's left the hospital in Dusseldorf. He's actually put an Instagram message out about needing a mask. And we've seen so many players over the years wearing these masks, haven't we? When he next plays for France, he's going to be wearing a mask. Is that going to be in the group stages or in the knockouts? Could he feature against the Netherlands in match day 2? Well, he absolutely could, and a decision will be made closer to the time. This is from French journalist Julien Laurent, who's a good friend of mine. Jules has always got his ear to the ground, always big on breaking MBAPPE news. He actually leaked the story of MBAPPE to Real Madrid. He broke the story of MBAPPE to Real Madrid. Jules is the go-to, and this is a reliable source. He has a chance of playing against the Netherlands if Jules says he has a chance of playing against the Netherlands. Is he a transfer out? Absolutely. No. Is he perhaps a risky hold when there's players like Kane you might want to jump on? I think he probably is. So given the fixture and given the fact that he's now going to be flagged, unless we hear anything concrete pre-deadline, I still think I might take the gamble and sell him. He's too expensive to hold. Anyway, let's get on and see my team, shall we? So this is what my team currently looks like before any transfers. So as things stand, it's all right. It's all right. I must admit, my original plan was like be open to a wildcard match day 2. But I think I've seen enough from these players to think match day 2 is good. And actually, I should hold my wildcard till the quarterfinals. So sure, I've got Triple Italy. Who against Spain? It's a lottery, right? Whilst I have Triple Italy, I also have Triple Germany. I definitely want them this week. I see a win against Hungary, possibly to 0. I still want to invest in Belgium, although I have one Belgium asset who doesn't start. De Cooper at the back was replaced by Carrasco at left wing back. And I've still got Portuguese assets in there as well. So I think 2 free transfers could be enough. Now, the big question will be, what 2 free transfers? And should you just consider wildcarding? So look, let's see my 2 free transfers in a sec. But first, let's see what a wildcard team would look like. I have done a wildcard standalone video, so I'm not going to spend long on the wildcard draft. If you want to check that video out, then please do go and find it. There'll be a link at the end of this video. Now, wildcard draft, by the way, guys, please hit those buttons if you fancy it. Likes and subscribes would be so welcome. Takes 2 seconds, maybe even less, 0.2 of a second. So look, if I was to wildcard, maybe it'd be something like this. I don't think I'd wildcard MBAPPE in, to be fair. This was made before the MBAPPE injury. So MBAPPE would be out. And I'd probably have a, I don't know, maybe a Kane in and then one less England defender, or I'd swap Bellingham out. But I think Kane and Bellingham as a double up could be quite nice. Lukaku, I think Mitrovic is a bit of a wild card. We can see here the players highlighted are the ones I don't have. If I was on wild card, I'd probably mix things up and change my German midfielder from Wirtz to Gundogan and Musiala and go with those 2 just for a minute's play. But all 3 are going to start. Of course they are against Hungary. I think I would keep Lukaku and De Bruyne. I know they blanked, but the chances Lukaku had, how my captain Lukaku did not get me points. 2 goals ruled out from VAR, 3 big chances missed on top of that. It was an embarrassment, but it happens. So not a huge amount of changes, more investment in England, but I could do that in free transfers anyway. And then you get a few gifts, like the Serbian goalkeeper now we know is a 4 million starter. There's a Croatian 4 million starting defender as well. So we always get a little bit more intel as the tournament goes on of these sort of budget enablers that are actually not squad men as the game thought they would be, but actually starters. So you see that in the Serbian goalkeeper and the Croatian defender, both 4 million. We obviously have the likes of Mittelstadt at 4 million for Germany, Mark Gahey at 4.5 for England. So lots of budget options anyway. So my team before transfers, when I look at it, I go, who really needs transferring out? You might argue, well, there's two obvious. Let's forget players that have bad fixtures, and let's forget players that maybe didn't look good in match day one. Because if you're looking at players that didn't look good in match day one, you'd be selling Lukaku and De Bruyne. But I would go, they're still classy players, and they have a good match day two fixture against Romania. They're going to be fired up for that. You might look at the opposition for Italy and go, they're playing Spain, sell them. Yeah, it's not optimal to have Italy players, but they could pull off a 2-0 win. And if they do that, Calafiore, who looked amazing in match day one, DiMarco the same, and Fratesi, who hit the post in match day one, they could all get something. So I see this team and go, the only real fires to put out are De Cooper of Belgium, who we all thought was going to be a starter, didn't start. Carrasco started. I think they'll probably stick with Carrasco. So that's a risky hold. So I think selling him, he's a 4.5 defender, when there's lots of good options at that price point at the back, and then selling Mbappe just because of the uncertainty. But elsewhere, you keep your German, your Belgium, your Italian, and your Portuguese assets. So this is what I'm looking to do. But before we see it, I gotta show you some data. So this is from Rob T, one of my favorite accounts to follow on Twitter. And Rob T, according to the bookies and the spread markets, is able to give us the clean sheet odds and the goal projection odds. Now, what I'd say about match day 2 straight away, what jumps out at me is very few teams, only 3 teams, Germany, Belgium, and Portugal, are predicted to score 2 goals or more. This is why I don't like the idea of using a wild card, because I don't think there's big enough upside fixtures. I bet in match day 3, there's way more teams projected to score more than 2 goals. And in match day 1, there was way more teams around that 2 price mark as well. But as things stand, no one's really going, oh, it's going to be a high scoring match day. So I already have German players. I already have Belgian players. And I already have Portugal players. So all the teams that are stacked up to score 2 plus, I have double attack on Belgium, double attack on Portugal, and triple Germany. So I think I'm fairly well set. Now, what about clean sheet odds? In terms of clean sheets, match day 1 saw 2 teams ranked more than 50% chance to keep a clean sheet. That was Germany and Italy, who both conceded 1 goal of an XG of something like 0.5 against them combined. I had 4 defenders in that, wiped out, and so unlucky. So Germany are expected to keep a clean sheet of 50%. They're the only ones. Interesting, isn't it? Croatia are fancied for a clean sheet, almost 46%, and England are at 42, Belgium are at 44. Now, I'm looking at buying a defender. I could go and spend 4 million on a Croatian defender at 46%, or I could go with England and go, forget the odds. Who do you think is going to keep a clean sheet? And the answer to that question is, I think England have got a slightly greater chance of keeping a clean sheet in my head. And that is why Mark Gahey at 4.5 would come in for the Belgian wing back. So Mark Gahey would be one of my transfers. We can see they're highlighted. Like for like 4.5 to 4.5. And then MBAPPE out, Kane would be the other. Many might look at Harry Kane and go, he had 1 touch in the first half. He's not being utilised in the right way. England didn't look amazing. It's still Harry Kane, who still, despite being so quiet, forced a really good save out of the Serbian keeper with a point-blank header. Kane will get a big chance, and I back him to score against Denmark. He's been there. He's done it before against Denmark in the Euro semi-final. I think I would be backing Harry Kane, and I'm very happy backing Harry Kane for this one. So they are currently the 2 transfers I'm looking at. Of course, it could change. But at the time of recording, I think I'm pretty well set on those 2 moves. I'm definitely not considering any hits. And I'm definitely fairly confident. So that's my plan of action. In terms of captaincy as the match days go on, I'm going to start the match day with Florian Wirtz as captain. Of course I am. Now, if Florian Wirtz goes and gets a 10-pointer again, I think probably lesson learned. I think probably I go, no, stick with that because 10 points is 10 points. 20 points I would have welcomed. Instead, I moved the armband to Lukaku, who blanked, Fratesi, who blanked, for Bruggen, who got 4 points, Ronaldo, let's see. So, look, in terms of captaincy, match day 1 includes Croatia, if you've got any Croatian assets, but Germany against Hungary will be the obvious one. Sorry, the first day of match day 2. The second day of match day 2, Harry Kane gives me a really nice captaincy option, which, again, I wouldn't have if I didn't buy Harry Kane. I'd be captain an Italy player far from optimal there, right? So Harry Kane would be match day 2, day 2 captain. Day 3 captain, if it gets that far, well, I don't have Ukraine, Slovakia, Poland, Austria, France, and Netherlands players. I do have Netherlands, so Verbruggen might, if I get that far, would be a captain choice. But then day 4 is when it becomes interesting, because again, it can be a last hurrah on Ronaldo against Turkey or Lukaku against Romania. I've got good options there with the armband. Day 3 isn't optimal there with the Dutch playing. But outside of that, pretty good. Guys, do remember to join my mini league code. Over 1,000 managers are in there. 7ENSHI is the code. It's also in the description to this video. If you like your videos in audio form, you'd rather just listen to me, then wherever you get your podcast from, you can download this podcast. All these shows are transferred into pod form. So do check that out. Guys, thank you for your support as always. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing. As things stand, it's 2 England players for me. Kane and Guehi in, Mbappe and De Cooper out. Do I think Mbappe will start against the Dutch? It's 50-50. It's a coin toss. And when it's a coin toss like that, I think you just go play safe, bring in a premium player, because he is a big price player, the most expensive player in the game, Mbappe, to be carrying if he's not fit. That's my 2 pence worth. Guys, I will see you in match day 3. Good luck. Go well. And let's hope Italy beat Spain.